I am sleeping. I am sleeping. I am sleeping.
I am not sleeping anymore! Peppa's ribs.
Peppa Pig.
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show, where I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not things deserve to be slaughtered or salvaged. And oh, how I have waited in vain to talk about Peppa Pig. Peppa Peg. Peppa Twatting Pig.
Peppa Pig. It wouldn't be quite as cute if she were a hog. What can you say about the show? Kids eat it up, quite literally. And even some adults seem to love it. But why?
I have no sodding clue.
All you need to know is that it's a preschooler show about a family of pigs that began life in 2004, picked up so much traction that it's now on 200 plus episodes, won tons of awards, got its own damn theme park in the UK, and even has celebrity voices in it on occasion. Oh, and by the way, merchandise is fucking everywhere.
And I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, so with the advent of our kids recently explaining on Film Fridays everything about Peppa Pig and kind of ripping it to pieces a bit, is there no better life conundrum to tackle?
So in order to be totally fair, I decided not to buy a DVD because I'm not giving them any money, and instead went onto YouTube, typed in Peppa Pig in HD videos only,
Because I'm not a Neanderthal.
and then arranged them by the most views that they have. Then I went to the first English compilation I could find, and it turned out to be from the official Peppa Pig channel itself. But either way, this apparently is the best of the best that Peppa Pig audiences will ask for, what they flock to, and what keeps the popularity and the views skyrocketed on the internet.
And I'm sure you can't handle the wait any longer. You want to see my harboured hatred for this show, right? Well, let's sit back, watch this compilation, and see if my hatred is brought out by any of it.
I'm Peppa.
Oh, I brought it out already!
So here we have a theme song, which isn't really a theme song as much as it is Peppa giving a fucking roll call like she's in the army, while some fast-paced brass assaults your ears. And here are the main characters: Peppa, George, Mummy, and Daddy. The show revolves around the daily activities and adventures they all get up to. That's it. Literally that's it. No more to explain. And the first episode on this compilation is Grampy Rabbit's Dinosaur Park, where immediately shit isn't right. Firstly,
Dinosaur Park!
I must shed a tear for Brian Blessed. And secondly, it highlights everything wrong with the visual design of the show. Yeah, the colours are pretty laid back and cool for a preschool show, and that's fine, but does that excuse some of the absolute worst character design, laziest art direction and animation I've ever seen? You can call it style, I call it terrible. Arms and legs are sticks, it's way too simplistic and ugly, the lines of each character's outlines overlap, Peppa's head looks like anything you can think of, a hairdryer, a dildo, a whistle, pretty much anything other than a pig's head. And did any thought go into where the body parts belong? The elephant's trunk is stuck on the side of its head, Grampy Rabbit's beard and mustache is a mile away from his nose, and what the hell is up with those eyes? The characters never look directly at the screen, and I'm very happy about that because I have absolutely no clue what you'd actually see gazing back at you. Looking at everyone on the side constantly leads me to believe that these characters have 4 eyes, 2 on this side of the head and 2 on the other side, because how else would it make any sense at all if there were only 2 eyes? Daddy Pig's glasses don't reach over his nose, so it's obvious it's a different pair of glasses on each side of his head, and my god, sometimes they even have teeth and sometimes they don't. Peppa Pig has fucking retractable teeth. Perfect for when she lures children to her caves ready to eat them alive. That then gets confirmed in the next episode about a character called Mr. Potato. A French giant walking, talking potato... In this one, the family watch him on TV, beg Mummy to drive them to go and see him for about a minute and nothing happens, fuck off back to preschool for another minute to draw fruit pictures in a very rushed manner, send them to him in about 5 seconds, and then ruin their own ending joke by spoiling what Peppa actually drew earlier, but then revealing it as a twist ending joke somehow, and it ends with this line.
Daddy Pig likes jumping up and down.
Which is funny because I thought the joke always was that Daddy Pig was very fat because he hated exercise and hated jumping around, so what has this got to do with fucking egg?
Hey Phoebe, do you want some genuine Peppa Pig flesh? Does that taste nice? You like eating Peppa's inside?
Not really.
Oh.
It's also worth mentioning that in this camping episode, Peppa is a hypocrite.
I love camping. It sounds a bit boring.
Oh, and by the way, this is the car of the future. Go and pillage.
And yes, like I have to say in every video where I'm talking about something that's made for kids or suitable for kids, please do not tell me I can't complain because I'm not the target audience, because This shit is made by adults, and I just don't think it's very well made at all. And that's just from a few standpoints so far. I've got so much more to say about the characters and the writing that make me despair, but let's just tackle one thing at a time, okay?
For now, let's hear what they'd sound like with farts and human screams of torment.
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig.
No? Okay, how about real pig noises then?
I'm Peppa Pig. This is my little brother George. This is Mummy Pig. And this is Daddy Pig.
Oh god, no. Now let's get the mitts raised up good and proper, because this next episode
Swimming!
is where my proper issues with the show as a whole begin to surface. The family goes swimming and the rabbit family join in. First of all, the rabbits sound like this.
Hello, everyone.
Yep, not the worst thing imaginable at all. Secondly, it's annoyingly inconsistent, having George in a pool in one shot and then immediately out of the pool on the other end of the pool in the very next shot, and having these diving boards seemingly crossfade in and out of existence in between the shots, which is inexcusable because it's animation. And thirdly, the kids in this show, you know, the ones that the target audience relate to and really like to watch and may even copycat, can be dicks. Selfish, annoying, spoiled dicks. And I'm not saying that kids aren't like that, because they all are. I'm sorry, every single one of them are. And if you're an adult, well, you were as well. So was I. Everybody was. We are pretty much all born from day one to be as selfish, lazy, and self-fulfilling as possible as human beings. And the things that stop us from going down that road in the future are the parents. Ever met a selfish, horrible, spoiled, twatty adult? That's what happens when you aren't controlled at an early age. It's completely natural for us to develop into that. I'm sure we'd be happy to shit our pants every day if we weren't taught to get off our asses and use a toilet, and I'm sure that many of us would like to just sit down and do nothing all day like a dystopian Wall-E future if our parents didn't teach us to actually use our legs to walk. Kids try to get away with their own shit as often as possible, because why the hell shouldn't they try it? If they like doing something and it makes them happy or makes them laugh, they're gonna try fucking doing it. Hence why a barrier needs to be placed to help them learn their limits and actually kind of start being a decent human being after a while. But in this show, well, from the 20 or so episodes I've seen on TV, the 10 episodes I watched with the kids on their video, and the episodes all in here, I can't recall a single episode where bad behavior has consequences or where even slightly questionable behavior is mentioned. I know that's a generalization, I haven't watched most of the show, but here is a prime example. Richard Rabbit has a watering can and annoys the fuck out of Peppa, who isn't even his sister, so that seems kind of rude from the offset. She asks him to stop, not too harshly by the way, and then him and George just decide to laugh and then drop the fucking can. Good, he should have stopped. Then they both cry for whatever reason, despite the fact that George wasn't touching the watering can, and every cry in this show makes you want to kill yourself. Followed by pathetic, sad little begs for the parents to get the can back. Not politely, by the way. Instead of these parents here teaching the kids to say please and maybe they'd consider it, or just telling them to calm down in the first place and trying to deal with the crying, or even bringing out the fact that they shouldn't have been rude and annoying and will only get the can back if they decide to behave, they all just bow down to their wishes, get the can back.
There you go.
Well done, Daddy Pig.
And they don't even get a thank you. Something that you can teach your kids, funnily enough, if they can speak. And then the best thing about it is that straight away, they act like dicks again, laugh it off, and they even do it to Daddy Pig of all the pigs, who said a few seconds ago,
Try not to splash, but you don't need to splash quite so much.
like, what the actual fuck?
You'll get a better view if you watch me from the side.
Oh yeah, I believe him, because if you look at him from the front, you'll see this. Very Hot Day, one of the worst episodes and worst offenders for the narrator of the show. Oh yeah, this show has a narrator. A narrator has a lot of power in a show like this. They can tell everybody what's going on, no matter how old you are, as simply, quickly, and efficiently as possible. They can clear up loose ends really quickly. They can teach morals at the end of episodes, and when they're used correctly, or used to preface an episode of something, or preface a movie or something, I think they can work really well. They set a good mood. And sometimes, if you're basing your work on a book or something, then having the narrator read the story as the animation or whatever is playing out in front of you is a nice stylistic choice, because they're just reading the book. But here in Peppa Pig, the narrator is the worst, absolute worst. He barely needs to be in it at all, but decides to take up half of the fucking episode, and he treats every single kid like a moron. He doesn't need to be there for the adults, because the adults can see what's going on, but even if you're going to make the argument the narrator is there to make it easier to understand for the kids, no. This guy thinks thinks that every single kid hasn't even evolved to be a fucking human being of today's world yet. Whoever wrote this literally thinks that every child is an idiot, a complete bloody moron. And let's just go down the list on this particular episode and you can see for yourself why I think this.
It is a very hot day.
What a lovely hot day.
Well, you didn't need to start off the episode by saying that if Mummy Pig was already going to say it.
They are going to jump in muddy puddles.
I love muddy puddles.
You didn't need to say that either. You could have just let Peppa say that she loves muddy puddles and just let her try jumping in them. You can see that. It's pretty obvious what she's going to do.
The sun is so hot that the puddles have dried up.
Mummy, Daddy, the puddles are all dry.
Well, you didn't need to say that either because Peppa says the exact same goddamn thing in a second. Why are you ruining the story for us?
You have to change into your swimming costumes.
Peppa and George are wearing their swimming costumes.
Oh my god, do you not understand the point of a narrator, Peppa Pig? You can't tell me for a single second that they're doing this just to spell it out for the younger kids who don't know what's going on, because for fuck's sake, you can see the costumes on the screen right now, and if you're that young that you don't quite know what that is yet, what does Mummy Pig say?
You have to change into your swimming costumes.
So why does the narrator need to then say it again? Well, if you remove all of the unnecessary narration and watch this scene play out again, you'll completely understand why.
Peppa and George are wearing their boots.
I love muddy puddles. Oh. Mummy, Daddy, the puddles are all dry.
Yes, that's why. It's fluff. It's stupid pandering fluff. Padding. Barbecue ribs.
Daddy Pig is pumping up the paddling pool.
Oh my god, are you fucking joking?
Can I have a Coke, please, Miss Rabbit?
Of course you may, Peppa.
Thank you.
Oh, thank God, manners. Peppa saved her own show before I came in fuming anger.
And what would young Mr. George like?
Dinosaur.
It just so happens that I do have a dinosaur-shaped ice lolly.
Dinosaur.
Okay, I'm fucking serious. This is actually insulting now. Why does nobody teach George how to be a decent member of society? For such a moral-driven show to a point where they had to redo earlier episodes of the show to include bike helmets and seatbelts on characters that weren't there before in the original airing, they seem to let George get away with murder with absolutely no problem at all. When he's not standing there looking all cute and smiling and laughing, he just begs, cries, takes things. No parent figure ever says anything to him about any of this, so how will he ever learn? And look, he blatantly completely ignores his mum here.
Eat your ice lolly before it melts.
George loves his dinosaur ice lolly so much he doesn't want to eat it.
And then what happens?
Eat your ice lolly before it melts and falls on the ground.
And so what does he do?
Oh dear.
And what happens after all of that?
You can share Daddy's ice cream.
Look, I'm sure that he's a good dad and everything who would offer that, you know, if he was there. But that seems extremely unfair to do that with Daddy Pig not being there. And when George was the one who wasn't polite, didn't listen, wasted money, cried like a little bitch, and then got rewarded with not only more ice cream, but a share of someone else's ice cream who wasn't even there to say if it was okay. By the way, he ate the whole thing! Look, it's gone! Oh wait, no, it's back. Where did that go? Up his
You
up.
see why I hate this show now? Not only is it everything that I hate about copy-paste, horrifically unimaginative and lazy kid show animation, but this episode in particular is one of the worst for everything. For structure, for writing, for characters, for bad morals, unnecessary fluff, and I can't watch any more of it because it never improves.
Quick, George, let's get our boots.
Peppa and George are wearing their boots.
Eat your ice lolly before it melts and falls on the ground.
George's dinosaur ice lolly has melted and fallen on the ground.
Okay, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, I know, I've only just passed the halfway point of this compilation, but I really can't do it anymore. I'd rather rip out Peppa's spleen, George's trachea, Daddy Pig's canthus and Mummy Pig's philtrum and brew myself the most disgusting pig gut stew and eat it than watch anymore.
Even the next episode, where Peppa's sheep friend comes over for a bit, has Peppa now acting like a total cow with nothing being done about it at all.
No, George. This game is just for big girls. Go and play with your own toys.
And when the narrator actually might have a decent purpose to say Peppa was rude or something, no, he says,
Peppa and Susie want to play on their own.
I did a lot
And not only does George basically ignore Peppa even though she's being very stern with him, he should have got the message and then run off and told Mummy Pig when he saw her a few seconds later or something, I don't know. But he also then gets called back when it suits Peppa and then doesn't get an apology or anything. This could have been a good episode about how siblings need alone time with friends every so often and how to be nice when telling the other sibling that, and there could have been some discussion on George ignoring Peppa and Peppa being absolutely horrible. There could have been so much here, but nah, life is sunshine and fucking rainbows. Look at George, he looks like a boil. And Daddy Pig then walks in and nothing happens, nothing is said, and I just feel like eating sausages now. Look guys, I just don't know what else to say here. This show is draining, so lacking in creativity or memorability and long-lasting appeal, it's almost depressing. And it's clear that they were visually designed for the easiest and most effortless book and merchandise processing and reprocessing that it can all handle. There's a couple of bendy lines and simple shapes. It's so obvious. I mean, look at some of the books here. They just use the exact same images and sometimes flip them over on the next page. And with all the subtle little ways it shows off and completely brushes past anything negative worries me, honestly, purely because of how popular it is, how many awards it's won, and how many kids not only watch it, but are left babysat by it from their parents for hours on end with these damn movie-long compilation clips on YouTube. I am not for a second suggesting that you need to be harsh and horrible with children. They've got imaginations, they love life, they've got no responsibilities, no worries, and they fucking deserve it. It's the only time in life where you can actually have that time of your life and have it completely be justified and understandable. I'm not advocating against having fun, I'm advocating against the fact that there's nothing realistic even slightly in here when it comes to negative behavior and stuff. It's kind of toxic. There's more enriching, enlightening, timeless, effort-drenched and entertaining stuff to show kids people, and stuff that does not cause toddlers who absorb everything they see from an early age to copycat and behave like every single character in the show like it's all okay and everyone will laugh about it later because they're cute little fucking beds. Trust me, I've met a few kids like that. They get molded by this show, I'm serious. So for something not as creative or educational as Sesame Street, not as charming and great at teaching lessons and tells unforgettable stories as the original Thomas the Tank Engine UK series,
Peppa Pig gets slaughtered. But not like this. Can we cook her now?
Yes.
We can? Oh, yes! I am the bacon wizard! And today on the show we're going to be cooking some of the finest food I've ever made in my life. And here we have a meal fit for the finest prince of England. It's the best sausage in the county, bar none, guaranteed. Look at the juices in the bottom there. That's the sign of good quality there. And yes, thank you for joining me today. That is how you make proper organic, free-range Peppa Pig sausages, ribbed for their pleasure. She needs. Why do you have to get involved every time?
I am sleeping.
I'm not.
Oh, fuck.
Broken leg, so that's why everything looks a bit lower down this
I like
week.
the shots are low because Caddicarus is low.
Because I'm low.
Oh my god, guys, I did it. I caused a nationwide panic.
Okay, maybe I didn't. Maybe it's just a massive coincidence, but I find it very odd that on the 19th of March 2017 I upload my Peppa Pig Caddicarus episode, and then following month, 27th of March 2017, the BBC come out with a story called The Disturbing YouTube Videos That Are Tricking Children, specifically about Peppa Pig. I don't know, I mean, I don't want to blow my own trumpet with this, but I think there might be a connection here. I like to think there's a connection here. Here is an article that was sent to me loads and loads of times ever since I uploaded my Peppa Pig video from the 27th of March onwards, and everyone was kind of joking that it was because of me that it happened and everything. I was like, well, what is this then? So I read through the article and watched the accompanying video about it, and yeah, it is about all of these disturbing cartoons on YouTube that are tricking children into clicking on them and all that stuff. Loads of people are asking me my opinions on the whole thing because it kind of does involve people that make content like I do in some way or another, because at one point you are going to get an angry parent telling you that their son or daughter watches your stuff and you swear, and now they swear and it's all your fault, when it's not my fucking fault that your kid watches stuff. It's not my fault. You give them access to the internet, what the fuck do you expect?
Like, seriously, what do you expect? But anyway, so I just wanted to kind of watch this video back, read through the article, and explain and respond and comment on what some of the things being said in the video were. Disclaimer, just before we begin, I am speaking as well with most of my opinions as a parent figure myself. Obviously, I'm not a biological parent of any children, but I've been living with Caddicarus, my girlfriend, and her 3 kids for the last couple of years now, and we have our own ways of, because obviously the internet's our livelihood, we have our own ways of teaching them about internet safety and, well, anything, movie safety, or anything like that, you know? All of these following opinions are coming from us in that sense, so not to shit on anyone else's parenting, but I am going to bring up a few things in this entire system that, yeah, just isn't right. Kids' cartoons are hugely popular on YouTube. Yes, they are. I mean, assuming that you go on the official YouTube channels of these kids' cartoons, because, you know, obviously, kids' cartoons were meant for TV, and so they could be illegally uploaded and stuff like that. But, you know, okay, that's a fair enough point to start on, yeah. But we found many fake versions of popular cartoons, including some which aren't suitable for children. God forbid, it's like the internet is open to expression and creativity. It's like YouTube is YouTube and not Corporation Safe for Your Children tube. Wow, that's such a fucking shock, isn't it? Okay, well, let's just keep going on. So what's some of the videos they're talking about? Okay, Mickey's ear getting cut off. Baby Spider-Man cutting off a bra. Oh, Anna's bra, okay. The gummy bears falling in the road. Oh, God, okay, before we carry on, okay. Here's the thing. With those examples, they just look like shit videos to me. They just look like very, very, very low quality, low brow humour, badly animated, bad sound effect, everything bad kind of videos. And they are from channels which, if you know anything about YouTube, you would recognise these kinds of videos. They're from channels which, they strive on laziness, they strive on attracting viewers and making fucking bank, and that's all they exist for. They're just using characters that millions and millions of people already know and recognise in order to profit in the quickest and easiest way. Here's the entire crux of the argument, which is going to be illustrated in the "We spoke to some concerned parents" section of this video. Let's have a look, shall we?
There was an episode where I saw a popular character in, I think it was Peppa Pig again. They'd actually set fire to a house with one of the other characters in it to try and kill them. I mean, these are things that, for a child to see, that they're not quickly going to forget that.
No, I completely agree with him. I think with some kids, not all kids, some kids, because I can tell you, even if Amy, our youngest kid, had seen that, she wouldn't fucking care, but that's just because that's how she's been, that's just the kind of person that she is. But I completely agree with you. There are loads of kids out there that would probably never unsee something like that. You know, Peppa Pig burning a fucking house down and killing someone. Yeah, it's kind of dark. But there's not really much of a comment to be made on anything that he was saying, because it says at the top that he's got 2 sons at 6 and 8 years old. Okay, first of all, 6 and 8 years old, what the fuck are they doing watching Peppa Pig? Secondly, though, there's no context in what he's saying. I mean, is he saying that he was watching videos alongside his kids and then this just started happening and they sat there and watched it together? He didn't stop the video? Or did he mean that he heard it in another room and then came in and shut it all down and then watched the video himself later and then decided that he didn't like that? Or maybe he's done some research himself and he's just seen some of these videos and thinks that kids shouldn't be watching this kind of stuff. There's millions of reasons why what he's saying is what he's saying, but it has nothing, there's no real meat to the argument in anything that he's saying. He's not adding anything to the conversation. All he's saying there is, I don't think that kids can really get away with watching Peppa Pig burning people's houses down. It has nothing to do with his kids in particular or anything. It's kind of a redundant statement. So let's just keep moving on. The YouTube Kids app filters most of these videos. Yes, it tries anyway, but not all of them. Okay, so then here's the next thing. YouTube Kids, I think a great idea for an app, but at the same time, YouTube is YouTube. There are people that are very smart, people that are very lucky. You get things leaking through all the time. No filter is 100% accurate. It doesn't exist.
Let me tell you what, do you guys remember back in the day? Some of you might not remember this, but I do. I remember this. Back in the day, restricted mode used to be called parenting. We used to call it parenting. That's right. Things were tough back then. We couldn't just toggle a feature on a website. We actually had to monitor our kids and actually raise them and make decisions. Life was tough. Thank God for restricted mode. Restricted mode, you've made parenting incredibly easy. Now I don't even have to babysit my kids. You're going to do it for me. And I have to worry about nothing. This is great.
There are going to be loopholes, there are going to be videos that slip through the cracks, and it's amazing to me that if this app is being trusted this much and has been put on the equipment of, I'm going to assume, most of the parents' tablets and phones, then you're not only letting your kid run free on YouTube anyway, YouTube Kids or not, it's still YouTube. You're not only letting them run free on that, but you're also letting them run free on your equipment, which is entirely your prerogative. But it doesn't sound like the best idea to me if then the reaction to some of the stuff that gets popped up is this. But let's carry on anyway.
The YouTube Kids app sort of starts to recommend at the bottom underneath the videos. And I, heard something that didn't sound right after she'd been watching for maybe 10 minutes one morning.
Okay, before she finishes her sentence, she's got a 3-year-old kid and she heard something that didn't sound right. That says to me, however long she left her for, she fucked off for a bit and left her kid on YouTube. YouTube Kids or not, doesn't matter. She left her kid on YouTube Kids, let's just say for the sake of argument, YouTube Kids, and then she was shocked to hear something going on. You leave a 3-year-old in charge of something like this when they're curious and they're going to press things on a touchscreen. What do you think is going to happen? It's not YouTube's responsibility to, police every single aspect of a creative, expressive platform. It's not their fucking responsibility. This is what television exists for, right? This is what television exists for. Television exists with designated shows at specific times that are executive picked to be as child-friendly and family-friendly on specific channels as possible. You got Pop, you got Disney, you got Nickelodeon, and all this other stuff, CBeebies, all of this stuff. That's what television's for. If you want to do the whole let your kid be babysat by entertainment for a bit, that's what television exists for. It's not for the internet.
You're telling me that if I don't keep an eye on my child and I ignore them, they could be watching inappropriate content? If I don't keep an eye on my kid, they could be doing something I don't approve of? I don't understand. I should be rewarded for not keeping an eye on my kids.
When Amy was 3 years old, I remember one time I went actually to Keris's house. I was working on a script on my laptop. I went to the toilet. Keris went and made a cup of tea. I left my laptop open. It was my mistake. I hold my hands up to it. But within the 5 minutes I was gone and the 5 minutes Keris was gone, Amy had somehow at 3 years old managed to get onto my laptop, open up Google accidentally, and accidentally get some weird kind of malware on my laptop. This stuff happens because kids are curious by nature, and like I've said in the Peppa Pig video, selfish by nature. They will do what they want if it makes them happy. That's just how kids work. You need to step in and stop that. So it's very interesting that even you're shocked that this stuff is even a thing in the first place. Whether it's on the YouTube Kids app or not, you should not let your kids roam free on YouTube. The fact is, okay, so look, this is the kind of video, right? Crying and dental machinery noises, Peppa Pig screaming and dentistry. Oh, for fuck's sake. It's okay, yeah, it doesn't seem right, but okay, wait a second. Sorry, let's continue.
She was not aware. She was not aware. She thought it was Peppa Pig. She just wanted me to not take it away from her because she was engrossed in what the video was.
So what's the problem then? If she was engrossed and she didn't want you to take it away from her, where's the complaint? It didn't sound that harmful to me.
I know a lot of Spider-Man and Elsa content on YouTube can be mostly considered money grab type content targeted at kids. But if that content for those kids that watch it, if that content, it for them, is entertaining, then it looks like YouTube is working just fine. It's in kids' natural DNA to enjoy watching content they know they should not be. It's in their DNA to enjoy watching inappropriate content. Do you know what kind of content I was watching when I was a kid? I was watching Ren and Stimpy, and some of the stuff on that show is very inappropriate. And look how I turned out. I turned out completely normal.
And if that's the main point of your argument, which is, oh, it was so bad, she just didn't want me to take it away from her. You're the parent, take it away from her. I'm assuming she's using your stuff. I mean, God forbid you have a 3-year-old let loose with a fucking iPad. I don't know what you expect to happen, but yeah, this is, if it's your stuff, you take it back. You're the parent, it's your stuff, you worked for it, you bought it. They should understand that. They can't just take things and take them back and complain when you take it back, otherwise they don't get to use it. They need to respect that, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So I don't understand what the point of your argument is at all. But this says to me more than anything that if you don't understand how YouTube works, you shouldn't let your kids on it in the first place. As a parent, it's not YouTube's responsibility to police, like I said, it's not their responsibility to police all of this stuff. Some channels are huge, like Toys and Funny Kids. Wait, Toys and Funny Kids Surprise Eggs with 5 billion views. Oh my god, if you look at the title of the fucking channel, you can tell something's not right with it. Despite its appearance as a child-friendly channel, again, like I said, if you knew anything about YouTube, if you did any research, if you had any experience, you would know by looking at that banner that this is a shit channel. You can tell by all of the copyrighted images that don't belong to them, the fact that the grammar of the channel name and everything makes absolutely no sense, the names of the videos everywhere. If you want to get to a point with your kid where you want to be able to leave them with YouTube, you need to know what YouTube is really like. They have uploaded videos that aren't suitable for children. Good God damn it. Like, what the fuck do you expect? Seriously, what do you expect? It's masquerading as a kid's thing, but it doesn't mean it is a kid's thing. Is that really that fucking difficult to understand? With some of these channels, that's part of the fucking joke. They express themselves and show themselves off as kid-friendly, but then they avert your expectations. That's entirely the point of some of these channels. Again, I mean, look at this shit. Sexy frozen Elsa bath time superhero in real life stop motion new episodes. What the fuck does that even mean? Can you not see that that's probably not going to be suitable for your kids? You can't even fucking... It doesn't even make any grammatical sense. And look, sexy frozen Elsa bath time. Why are you letting your kids even click on something like that in the first place if you're not supervising them? I don't think these channels are tricking anybody at all. I think they're very fucking clear what they're actually showing. And for another side note, the weird thing is that, yeah, I think it's fucking disgraceful that there are videos like sexy Elsa naked in the bath and everything are being shown around on YouTube and are as popular as they are and somehow seem to generate money. But I'm angry at that because there's no point to it, and it's somehow managing to breach past all of the strict demonetization rules that have plagued people like me who've made these kinds of videos that aren't even remotely sexual or anything. And they get taken down, but these ones somehow manage to stay up, you know? That's what I have a problem with. The fact that YouTube... That's what kind of my Mr. YouTube video about Anaconda, Nicki Minaj, was all about. Because there were ads on a video where there was so much fucking, so much arse, so much swearing, so much drug references, which was all of this stuff that wasn't advertiser friendly. So the fact that that stuff existed was kind of like... Well, you know what, it can be on the site and everything, but it shouldn't be making any goddamn money at all. That was kind of what the point was. But it wasn't a case to take the videos down, it was a case of, why the hell were we getting punished when they weren't? But these people have made it all about the kids, all about the kids. What we need is child protection. No, you don't. The parents need to be parents. If they're going away for 10 minutes and they can't go away for 10 minutes without their kids seeing something that they really didn't want their child seeing on the internet, they probably shouldn't be leaving their kids away for 10 minutes. They should be a little bit more educated. It's not about child protection, it's the internet. It wasn't made for children in the first place. YouTube told us, we take feedback very seriously and make it easy for anyone to flag a video. Flag videos with manual review 24/7 and that don't belong in the app or removed within hours. That's how it should work. Because how else is it going to work? They can't do everything themselves. They're the platform. They're the platform where people can express themselves. You're the ones that need to not only make sure that what your child is watching on the internet, where every bit of information exists, you need to make sure that your child is not only on the right places, but you also need to make sure that videos that don't belong on those places are removed. That's your responsibility. That's the parent's responsibility as a collective. That's why YouTube Kids exists. It's to filter out as much as it can, but it can't do everything automatically itself. Some are critical of YouTube's handling of this issue. If you're critical about YouTube handling the fact that they've already got a restricted mode on the main site and a restrictive mode within the already restricted YouTube Kids app, I don't know what the fuck you want, what you want to do unless you get rid of everything and leave nothing but the stuff that you can just watch on television anyway, and streaming services. That's not what YouTube exists for.
YouTube could come out and say, you know, this is not a place for children. You can't have an algorithm that is filtering out the videos from YouTube and hoping you catch the bad stuff. I hope that parents see this and they realize that Peppa the Pig video that their children is watching might not be Peppa the Pig.
Okay, well, with what that guy was saying, I do actually agree with him, I've got to be honest with you. He does make some very good points. But the thing is, it's the fact that you have to make that point in the first place. What, you have to tell the parents directly, oh, that thing that you think is Peppa Pig might not be Peppa Pig. No shit, it's the fucking internet. Parodies exist. All this shit exists. As far as I'm concerned, not only is it really fucking irresponsible to let your kid roam fucking free on the internet anyway, YouTube, anything, just let them roam free without any supervision whatsoever, especially at that age, without telling them about what they could potentially run into, not even just on YouTube, but anything. But the fact that you have to say that to them, oh, it's just fucking ridiculous. Because it brings up another issue as well. It brings up the issue of there is an official YouTube Peppa Pig channel, right? There's an official Peppa Pig YouTube video. That's where I got my clips from my Caddicarus episode from. That's where they came from, the official channel. Again, if you aren't experienced enough on YouTube to know that there is an official Peppa Pig YouTube channel, which you can find in less than 5 seconds by just typing in Peppa Pig official, you shouldn't be letting your fucking 3-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds roaming free as well. Why do you think they know better than you? Yeah, they grow up with it, doesn't mean they know better than you. So if you're not comfortable with it and you don't understand it fully, why are you okay with everyone else doing it? That's exactly the reason why my mum was actually very restrictive with my sister and I when we were younger, using AOL back in the day with dial-up connection. We were restricted. I couldn't even access Google back in the day because she didn't understand it, but she didn't have the time to learn the ins and outs of what kind of things you could run into being restricted and everything. And do you know what? Okay, it was annoying, but at least it makes more sense than just letting us fucking run free when she really didn't know what was going to happen. So Sonia Livingston is an expert on child online safety and professional social psychology at the London School of Economics. She says, it's perfectly legitimate for a parent to believe that something called Peppa Pig is going to be Peppa Pig. Fucking hell. It's the internet! What the fuck do you expect? If it's legitimate for a parent to believe that, educate the fucking parent, you know? And educate the people that don't seem to understand what the internet is. If you went to a shop and bought a Peppa Pig DVD, you have every right to think, assume, know that that is going to be Peppa Pig that you're purchasing with your own money. But if you go on the internet where freedom of expression exists and you find something that's called Peppa Pig, doesn't mean it's going to be Peppa Pig. It's really that simple. And it's like, okay, and she says, I think many of parents have come to trust YouTube as a way of entertaining your child for 10 minutes while you make a phone call. It's not. It's not. Tell the parents it's not. It's not like that. It's fine for kids if you know what you're doing and you can police what's going on and make sure they're not watching anything you don't want them to watch or what they shouldn't be watching, knowing the kind of personalities they are. I think if YouTube wants to be a trusted brand, then parents should know that protection is in place. It's as protected as it can be. You need to be a parent, you know? You need to be a parent.
You're telling me that if I don't keep an eye on my child and I ignore them, they could be watching inappropriate content? If I don't keep an eye on my kid, they could be doing something I don't approve of? I don't understand. I should be rewarded for not keeping an eye on my kids. This makes no sense to me.
What we do need is child protection. What you do need is for the parents to do it. It's not YouTube's responsibility, it's the fucking parents. Because there's child protection everywhere else. You put on television, there are channels and hours of 24/7 kids, executive picked, safe, family-friendly content all the time on TV nowadays. And there's books, and there's movies, there's DVDs, there's things that you yourself know are already safe. So why are you now looking at YouTube and going, this should be the next thing that needs to be as protected as going to a shop and buying a Peppa Pig DVD and all this stuff? It's not. And the funny thing is that the only reason you'd be recommended these videos in the first place is if you watch loads of illegally uploaded and duplicated videos in the first place. Like, with my video that I made on Peppa Pig, I got it from the official YouTube channel because I know what I'm getting is official. It's HD, it's the best quality, it's from the official channel. But if you type in Peppa Pig compilation, you see tons, like an ocean of fake, like hour-and-a-half long compilations, less than 360p quality, of Peppa Pig episodes back to back, illegally re-uploaded, illegally distributed, and if you're going to click on those kinds of videos, you're going to see the weird ones that pop up because they're not official. Why would you, like, it won't recommend you official things if you're watching unofficial things in the first place, so that's another thing that you can be uneducated about the kind of video compilations you're expecting in the first place. You're uneducated on the fact that there is an official YouTube channel where it is totally safe, and there's nothing wrong with that. You see, if this stuff was popping up on the official channel, then it would be a problem, and then it would be YouTube's problem, but now it's not. These are just channels doing whatever the hell they want, and people are shocked when kids accidentally stumble onto them. Makes no fucking sense to me. And yeah, obviously, educated on the internet as a whole. Parents, you need to understand the internet and YouTube is a free, expressive place, and it works both ways. You can't control every single inch of it. It doesn't work like that, because otherwise that stuff won't exist either. The stuff you want to exist. And the internet is such a huge place, you need to be careful. You need to make sure that if there's something on there that you don't want your kids to see, you need to be educated on that. And the best thing about all of this is that at the very end it says here that ever since BBC Trending began investigating, several of the channels we brought to the attention of YouTube have been removed, including the one containing the video of fake Peppa visiting the dentist. I mean, fucking great, right? Fantastic. Now there's censorship going on. And now people are losing videos because parents are too fucking lazy to make sure that what their kids are watching is actually what they want their kids to be watching. Like I said, if you're not happy with the way YouTube runs its stuff, and you're not happy with how safe and secure YouTube is, or YouTube Kids is, then you don't let them on it. It's too much responsibility, it's too much for you to handle at this point. You need to get more educated, and you need to be ready for something like that. And the ironic thing about all of this is that in my Peppa Pig video specifically, I made quite a lot of points about how the show itself doesn't teach any moral lessons. Kids get away with shit all the time. They act like spoiled brats. They are rude and conceited and awful and vindictive sometimes. They never get punished for it. There's no consequences for anything. Everything is la-di-da, rosy fence, lambs jumping over little bunny rabbits on molehills kind of stuff, you know? And that's obviously not realistic. I mean, I've done a whole video about that, but what I find funny is that for such a morally uncaring show, and it's raking in millions in the first place, that's fine for your kids to imitate and everything, but as soon as you go on the internet, where it's not policed all the time, and there is freedom of expression, and there is more creativity, and there is more risque stuff, and you can stumble into stuff that you probably didn't expect to stumble into. When a zombie Peppa Pig thing comes up on there, that's the problem. A zombie Peppa Pig video that appears on the ocean that is the internet, with all the good and all the bad and all the messy thrown in, that's a problem. But all of the stuff in the real show that makes the millions and is on Safe Kids TV and is properly networked and is properly safe, and you go to a shop and you're buying a Peppa Pig DVD, you know what you're getting with that. That's fine, apparently. I mean, this is the kind of thing I was talking about in my video. Anyway, I've ranted enough. I guess I'm just a bit worried that one day someone's going to take down my fucking Peppa Pig videos. So there you go. Farewell, everybody. Until next time, take care.
Oh, fantastic. It's the end of 2017. We're all a year closer to our deaths, and no one seems to care because they're too busy celebrating Christmas.
Oh, honey, don't be sad. Look, if you really want cheering up, you can have an early Christmas present from me.
Okay, what is it then?
Peppa's death. Wait a second. There's something inside the balloon! What is it? A present within a present! How jolly! How festive! How rambunctious! How...
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful people, and welcome to the Caddicarus show. I always have to do the dirty deed of deciding whether or not they deserve to be slaughtered. Peppa Pig.
I mean, what can I even say about this? If you saw my Peppa Pig TV show video a while ago, you'd know exactly how I feel about her. And now, when I thought I was at a safe enough distance from the fallout zone, here she is, again. Back in video game form, on the Nintendo dipshit. What was it with the Wii and the DS and their endless acidic droves of shovelware? I get that they were both hugely popular consoles that could have made as much money as possible for anyone making a game, but why were there so many bargain basement stock ones approved and licensed by Nintendo themselves? Does that stamp, that seal of approval, mean nothing? I mean, was the idea to create a person repellent from the company to let people know, hey, we don't care about the game you made,
We prefer this. Quit while you're ahead. Merry Christmas, you fuckface.
So I look at the back of the box, and all I can deduce is that this is a small selection of mini-games for extremely young children that are allowed to use a DS before their afternoon cry, afternoon nap, or afternoon shit. And if you somehow seem to be a fan of this sausage roll, I guess this game was made for you too. But the question is, would you even want to look at it in the first place? Well, let's just get the game here, pop it in the DS, and find... Oh, I just remembered I have something very important I have to do. Amy, do you need any help tidying your room?
No!
Phoebe, do you have any homework I can help you with?
No!
Chloe, do you?
No!
Fine, I'm doing it. All right, let's just begin. And there it is, licensed by Nintendo. I never thought I'd see that quote alongside this face. And how many people made this thing? It's a Peppa Pig minigame set on DS. What could there possibly be that required more than one team behind it, let alone 4? And what's even more great is how Peppa's stupid fucking face is always there, swapping through each of the screens with every team logo that appears. You can't escape it. It's just hairdryer, whistle, dildo, hairdryer, whistle, dildo. Like, I know what I'm getting myself into. I don't need to realise what game I just bought. And seeing as George is one of the worst animated characters of all time, and so we properly begin, and Jesus Christ, the music! This 15-second loop has been on repeat for the last minute and a half, and I can't take it anymore! Let's just click on the star and see if it changes. No, of course it doesn't, and even worse, the star does jack shit. There's absolutely nothing to do here. I'm tapping everywhere and changing everything, but nothing is happening. Great.
Bursting bubbles is quite hard work.
And all you do is pop bubbles. Yeah, that's it. I've got nothing else to say. You pop bubbles and wait, don't pigs bathe in a mixture of their own feces and mud? This is very unrealistic, and if you don't mind, this makes me very uncomfortable and I'm gonna quit. Oh wait, so they're achievements. The star section of this game is the list of achievements for every game that you play. God, watch out PSN and Xbox Live. Peppa Twatting Pig has her own achievement system and it's automatically better than yours because the star is wonky. And seeing as this is a baby game, I think I'll do good at this. Pour the mixture, flip the pancake, and...
Oh dear.
What just happened? Let's try that again.
Whoops.
What? What am I doing wrong? Come on, third try.
Oh dear.
Don't oh dear me, you wank! Why are the pancakes just vanishing like that? How is a baby supposed to understand this if I can't do it?
Well done.
Hey, thanks. Now fuck off. Can I just say, I've seen some bad looking games in my time, but even for as unappealing, inconsistent and lazy I think the art style of the show itself is, I didn't imagine that you could make it look even worse, but now this game proved me dead wrong. We have absolutely no detail here and it barely looks like the show it's supposed to represent, which wouldn't have been too tricky anyway, surely. Could they have cared any less to translate this little in the first place? You have solid blocked harsh colours everywhere, no background features, the parrot's perch looks like that one time I tried to draw poo in MS Paint. There's minimalist and easy to digest for kids, and then there's absolutely barren and careless splat of nothing. Look at it, this game somehow makes Peppa Pig, an already ugly show, even more ugly. Then we have Happy Mrs. Chicken. Happy Mrs. Chicken is my favourite game because what you do is touch the chicken to make it shit eggs. Then the eggs crack, the chicks run out, and you do it again. And again. And again. No, I'm not adding those sound effects in. That is coming straight from the game. I'm sorry, but even for a kid's minigame, how could this even be considered acceptable? This is not even a fucking game. There is no point to it. Somebody made this and then said to themselves, this is a great idea. Let's use it. And how about we add something else to this game of tapping on a shitting chicken and have Peppa say the same thing over and over again?
Again.
Fun fact, did you know that this is the worst thing I've ever seen? I've got nothing else to say, it's a load of bollocks.
Next game, hide and seek. Watch out, boys and girls, George is watching you.
Where is George?
He's right there. George is either there or he's not. That's it. It's luck. You can't even decide on which room of the house to search. Every time you tap the door, you move to the next room the game has on its cycle. For a baby game about a baby show, it's almost like you don't trust me to look around and actually search the house myself in a somewhat okay game of hide and seek, Peppa Pig. What do you think I am, a baby? Next game, Clerpoo. Nah, it's colour pictures. And after a little bit of fiddling, what did I manage to come up with?
I should be kept as far away from kids' games as possible.
Who is best at puddle jumping?
Dunno, don't care. This game is exactly the same as bubble popping, but even easier and slower. I wish I had more to say, seeing as muddy puddles are the recurring gag of the show, but I don't. It is what it is. I'm actually surprised they didn't put any effort into this part of the game in particular. Alright then, so what does this button do?
Oh dear.
Peppa, George, it's time to go home.
What in the mother of us was that?
And here's another game, Fly a Kite. Yeah, that's what I want this game to go and do right now. Okay, you know what? I will happily admit here. I criticised the narrator of the show heavily in my older video for existing for no other reason than to regurgitate everything already said by other characters and to treat the audience like they're dumber than a sack of old bicycles.
Let's get some air into this paddling pool.
Daddy Pig is pumping up the paddling pool.
But here, the narrator actually makes perfect sense. Since none of the characters in the game itself actually talk too much because it's just one of the laziest pieces of shit I've ever seen, and I'm sure the target audience of the game may not be able to read the title of the games as quickly as they appear and disappear, I think it actually works when the narrator tells you briefly what's going on. Plus, it serves to mask how shit every minigame actually is, especially this one. Oh, get ready to be disappointed, because instead you wiggle the snowball everywhere picking up snowflakes, then immediately the thing is finished and you just scroll between extremely badly cut out images of clothing. That's it. I'm saying that a lot in this video, aren't I? That's it. But really, it's because, well, that's it. And how much more ugly could you make this thing look? Great, playing games to do chores. And this one is the very definition of a chore. I'd rather wash my own car. You wiggle the sponge around for ages and ages, wait an eternity for the soap to appear, repeat it over the rest of the mud, grab the hose, and then stay still over the same areas, wait for the soap to clear, and then realise you somehow missed a spot, and so you take the game out and shove it up your ass. I would slaughter this game right now for ruining the end to my 2017, but I've got to be honest, I just don't think that's enough with this game, because Peppa Pig herself is such an evil bitch that she actually ended up killing the bacon wizard after he consumed her original recipe Peppa Pig merchandise condom sausages. So instead, I'll have to take the game out myself and try something else in memory and in honour of the brave, brave soul of the bacon wizard. Today, I feel like boiled pork.
Bursting bubbles is quite hard work.
Peppa's very good at bursting fucking bubbles. Look, it's snow. Oh, he doesn't know. What is it? Oh, look. Snow time. Oh, bless. He doesn't know what it is. Oh, so if it is your birthday today while watching this video, woo, happy freaking birthday to you. Please remember to stay beautiful. Happy Christmas birthday if it is your birthday. Well, I mean, it's not just Christmas. Happy holidays to anybody that celebrates anything watching my videos. Well, everybody's welcome here on this channel, so happy whatever you celebrate. Stan is very happy, so I think we'll just leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. Have an incredible holiday celebration, whatever you celebrate. Have a lovely time with your families. Have a good New Year. I won't be doing anything until after New Year, so I'll see everybody next year. And Stan will be back in a few videos, I'm sure. Goodbye, everybody. Knock, knock. Who's there?
There she is.
Hey everybody, I'm back, and guess what I found? Peppa Pig has an official magazine, didn't you know? I didn't know, but you know, I figured I've already done a Caddicarus about Peppa Pig the show. And I've done a Caddicarus about Peppa Pig's DS game.
Bursting bubbles is quite hard work.
So why not talk about the other thing that kids are massively into along with television and Nintendo DS, which is bits of paper. This is the first time I'm looking at any of this. As you can see, it's sealed. I mean, there's a bit of a hole there, but I mean, you know what kids are like. They think everything belongs to them, especially that thing. And I'm just gonna go off script and react to what I'm seeing. And isn't that funny? I ripped into Peppa Pig before, but now I actually get to rip into her. Like, literally rip. Look. Ready, let's run. Very good idea. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that. There is some gunk on this. There is some white gunk. I think someone likes pigs too much. We got to Peppa Pig. I was not expecting that noise. I was expecting something quite high-pitched. Weirdly enough, you have the more gentle you blow, the better the noise, but the harder you blow,
It doesn't make any noise at all, so this can be my stranger danger whistle. Oh, and this is based on one of my favourite Peppa Pig episodes, the one where everyone's rude and horrible and everyone deserves to die. Daddy says he can make the biggest splash. Oh, wait. Oh my god! Not even joking, that is the first thing I see when I opened this bloody magazine up. Absolutely horrified. But the funny thing is that I hate the art style of the show itself because of all like the overlapping lines and stuff, but now it's like, it's an official colouring book. Kids can draw better than the official artwork. What's the point of having a colouring book when they can draw better themselves? You know what, I'm gonna add my own little caddy touch to these lovely pieces of artwork. I'm gonna get my Peppa Pig out. There we go, I think that's perfectly appropriate for the kiddie wink. I've always wanted to be a knobhead, and now I can be. This magazine belongs to me. Oh my god, this is interesting. So there's a grown-ups instructions part here. Grown-ups, provide your child with a pencil and a set of coloured crayons. Okay, fair enough. Allow your child to feel in charge of the magazine. This is some cult level stuff here. Encourage your child to talk about what they're doing. Praise and offer encouragement to make learning a rewarding, enjoyable experience for you and your child. Okay, but if you're teaching your kids that Peppa Pig is the fountain of all knowledge and where you should get all your manners and where you should get all of your behavioural traits from, you failed as a parent.
No, George!
Sing with Peppa and her friends. Trying to add my own little personal caddy touch onto the lovely picture that we have there. You want me to put grape there? I've got two lovely bouncing oranges. I could just stick them there if you want. Beep, beep, look everyone, he's here. Please welcome your friend and mine, Mr. Potato. Everyone cheers for Mr. Potato. How many times have they got to say Mr. Bloody Sodding Potato? Pop Mr. Potato here. What, pop him in the face? Mr. Potato chats with the children. Which fruits and vegetables should we eat, Mr. Potato? Him. My superhero is Mr. Horn. Guess what his superpower is? It's hiding all the way down there. What have the children drawn? Pop the pineapple and carrot drawing stickers on Danny and Rebecca's paper. I don't have any of those stickers, so their drawings can be as empty and miserable as their home life. How many children? Too many. Peppa's Gallery. Okay, let's not start making fun of kid drawings and stuff. Again, this channel is not Leafy as here. We've got bigger fish to fry. What the hell happened here? Excuse me, I spent 5 whole English pounds on this magazine. What is going on with this? If I spend £5 on a Peppa Pig magazine, I expect perfection, not this worn, scratched up car paint magazine. What the? Peppa, what is that? Where did you get that from? Have you been to Victoria's Secret again? George has got his retractable teeth out. He's thirsty for flesh. Oh, and here we have an advertisement for Peppa Pig World. I really think I should probably go there just for the laughs and make a video. I don't know. Youngtown, is that you? What are you doing at Peppa Pig World? Let's make fruit smoothies. Let's not. I should probably put that page back. I can't read it otherwise. Draw a picture of you in the hula hoop. There you go. That's me, because that's how you make me feel, Peppa. You little bastard. I hate this boy! There you go, everybody. That was the Peppa Pig magazine. Was it as good as the show? Was it as good as the game? No, it was just as bad as both of them, and it was so awful that it makes me want to shove Mr. Potato up my... Sandy, would you like some bacon? Do you want some bacon? Go on then! Oh, even the dog doesn't. Daddy Pig, you aren't even good enough for the dog to eat. Ready, let's what?
No, I don't want to hurt you.
It's alright, you can go a bit faster. Oh, my nose! Did you also notice how Peppa Pig's stranger danger whistle actually looks exactly like Peppa Pig? Did that look good?
I think so.
Please tell me it looked good because my butt hurts. There's 6 differences apparently, so there's a difference there, and a difference there, and a difference there, and a difference there, and a difference there. Sorted. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't count.